So guys, it's David here, and I hope you guys are having a great day and like always are doing better than yesterday. So I think today is day 415, I think. But I do want to just remind you guys simply that you are not behind in life. You are not behind because you are comparing with the wrong thing. You see guys, comparing is perhaps the major reason why we always think that we are behind in our own journey, and comparing is one great reason that brings all our frustration and disappointment. Because comparing makes you unappreciate what you do have, and it starts to make you see everything that you don't yet have. And that first realization mostly comes in the form of envy rather than any positive emotions. So perhaps you may envy the person for having this wonderful opulent life. You may even disdain or condemn him from having it, or perhaps even resent. Instead of feeling this motivation to achieve something with your life, you compare. You start to beat yourself down because for what everyone else has but you, their lives seem so distant and unattainable where you can only hate. You can only blame yourself. Now, obviously, the right thing would be is to use such imagery, such lifestyle as a motivation or push forward. But for what I had experienced myself, we first began to jealous. We start to envy, right? Because that isn't us now, and we want to experience the result. We don't want to go through the process, which is why it is also that we feel like we are behind. Because in our head, we all see the end results. We all see what our life want to be. We all see the person we want to become. And in our mind, it is as if we had already made up the point that we are that person. And when we look back in our present reality to see that we are faced with our current obligations, we are disappointed. We are disappointed because we are not actually the person we want to become. And that process of becoming that person is something we don't really want to do, right? Most of us do not want to put in the hard work to become a millionaire. Now, also, by skipping deadlines, you will feel like you are behind too. Because you know, in a way, deep inside, that if you had just disciplined yourself, if you had just stick with your plan and routine, then you would have had achieved your goals by now. So this sense of disappointment by perhaps procrastinating is something I much prefer than if I was to constantly believe myself to be someone but not put in the work for it. Because the latter is merely just self-delusion, while the former, at least you're clear with your intentions. At least you know what to expect from this journey. And yes, you have put in the work, but you had some days off. You did slack off. And that's okay, because that is something is fixable, while the other still fixable, but it does require some, enlightenment. Because to think that you are someone and to not expect any work, you're deluded, right? You're in delusion. And to be honest, guys, sometimes that does catch up to you. When you don't, or when you avoid your fears, you start to make up these stories. And sometimes the story can be twisted where you start to believe that you are this great person, right? This successful person, but yet you are not doing anything that a successful person will do. Sometimes our delusion and stories catch up to us because we will do anything to avoid our fear. And sometimes to delude yourself into thinking that you are already there is perhaps our remedy for our unfortunes. But also, I do want to say lastly that you should not believe everything you see online, right? Do not believe all those people who display their successful lifestyle, to display those pictures on the yacht or perhaps on the jet, whatever it is, right? Social media or not, you should not believe everything you see. And perhaps for that matter, don't believe anything you see. Focus on yourself and put all your attention to your own lifestyle, because when you start to compare, you start to see everything you don't have and you don't appreciate the things you do have. And this is so deadly to your self-image, because you start to realize that your life right now is so insignificant to how everyone else is living. And that is so far from the truth. But the way we compare and the way we see others and compare that to ourselves can have that effect. It can make all your work feel like nothing. It can make all your blood, sweat, and consistency trifling. Because when you start to see what other people had accomplished and you're here at your desk still trying to overcome your own challenges, you may feel like that this journey is just not for you. But you have to understand, guys, that nobody is willing to put up their insecurities and show the world their flaws. Everyone, well, most people would like to be viewed as a superior being. Most people would like to have their best face forward, because they all know the public judges and everybody wants to be judged better. Even if that means they have to sacrifice their own comfort and security to buy the designer clothes, to buy the luxury vacation, if that means they have to sacrifice their life, their private life, if that means they have to struggle to let the world see them as someone better, by all means they will do it. Now, please don't just take this as social media, because your family, your friends will similarly do the same thing. Yes, even those people that are most dearest to us, even those people who perhaps we trust, will still want to be someone that they are not currently, right? Everybody wants to be someone greater. They all have this ideal person, and they will want the public to see them as that person. So please, guys, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to anything else that is so unimportant to what you are focusing your attention on. Because what you should be doing really is to keep your head down and do what you know best. Know what you want from life. Plan that. Expect those challenges to occur and be prepared to fail. Know how long it is going to take for you to perhaps see some success. And when you have these 5 things figured out, then get to work. The ideal way is to stay as disciplined as possible. Now, it is naive to think that you won't miss out on a few days when you first start your journey of self-improvement, because even the greatest people will fail. Even the greatest people will have days where they become complacent. But don't let your complacency turn into a habit. Don't let that habit turn into a lifestyle. It is okay to fall down. It is okay to be beaten down. But it is never okay to stay beaten down and think that you are not worthy of that life. Because that life will come to you. And that life will come to those who are prepared when their time has risen. Because your time will come. But if you are not prepared, then I can say for certain that you will miss out on that opportunity. And when will that opportunity come back? We never will know. But let's just not miss out on your chance in life. Because if you stop comparing, you'll start to realize that what I am doing now is actually amazing. And I just have to take my time. And eventually, if I stay persistent and consistent, then my time will come. I hope you guys had learned something, but if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow.